Okay, so in yesterday's session, we have created a model layout up to here. So we have created a panel at the back, okay, and we have created a false ceiling also. While creating a false ceiling, we have created a gap of at least 200 mm, which will be used for plywood design. Okay. Now, here we want to start modeling. Let us start modeling our panel layout. So, while making panel layout, we can see there are some grooves kind of structure like here. In this group, we can see there is a profile light also that is also given to us, and here we can see there are wooden paneling textures with some lower design. These groove kind of multiple groove kind of things are called as louvers. Okay, so we need to create these elements. So I have already created marking line for creating these grooves. Now we'll go to our panel layout. Now for creating grooves, what we can do, we can select these lines and we can apply an offset. This is a wall groove, so its thickness would be about 5 to 10 mm of thickness. These are C grooves. Okay, so that means there will be C shape of groove. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'll copy this line from the bottom and I'll copy it. When I'm copying it till top now, you can see at the bottom where distance is given, its height is at 7 foot 6 inches. Okay, this is fine because the board the wooden board that generally comes are of 8 feet of size. Okay, so we can manufacture it or by because it will manufacture it completely in single board. Na? You can see that this height is 10 feet 6 inches. So it can't be manufactured in single segment. It has to be manufactured by clubbing two or multiple segments. So that's why we have created a groove. Okay, so we'll specify its thickness as 10 mm. So we are working in inches fit, but for specifying dimension in mm, we just have to write the value as in mm. I'll copy it at a distance of 10 mm. Now I'll copy these two lines and these two lines by pressing Control key. I'll copy this line in CAD axis at a gap of 5 mm and I'll again select these two lines and I'll again copy them at a gap of 5 mm. We'll copy them. Oh, sorry. We'll remove these grooves. Okay, joints. Now we can see there are two grooves over here in this segment. So for creating two grooves, what I'm going to do is I'll copy for all the four lines. I'll copy them from this point and I'll create a gap of about 8 inches. I'll remove these boundaries also. And this one we have created our groove kind of thing. Now while creating groove, we can see there is a profile light also that has been displayed on our wall. So for creating a profile light, I'm going to copy this. First of all, let us create that guideline with the tape tool. Okay, so I'll create a guideline of 4 inches of thickness. Now I'll create a line from the top to the bottom. Then again, I'll create a guideline for 0.75 inches, and I'll create another line that will connect its start and end. Now I'll remove this middle joint. Okay, now we'll apply push pull on the surface, and before applying push pull, as you can see, there's a darker shade that you can see over here. So in SketchUp, while if we'll do the rendering now, if we'll just simply apply some depth on this, it won't be showing it dark. It won't be shown with darker color. So for making it appear more in depth, what I'm going to do is I'll apply some darker shade color to these groups. Okay, okay. Now we'll simply apply push pull command and we'll uh, specify the depth as 10 mm. Okay, because we are creating groups of 10 mm, so we'll specify the depth as 10 mm. Okay, now I'll create some depth for this also because it's going to be a profile light. So before creating depth, what I'm going to do is I'll copy this segment and I'll apply depth of up to length. Okay, now I will copy this material and apply over this surface also. Okay, in this manner, we have created our grooves. Now I'll apply this groove material on this segment also, and I will copy this line from here and I'll drop it over here. I'll create a gap of 5 mm, sorry, 5 mm, sorry, 5 mm over gap of 5 mm over here also. In this manner, we have created grooves for this panel. For creating grooves for this panel, what I'm going to do is I'll first of all copy this line at a gap of 5 mm. Now I'll remove the middle segment because we will create these segment in louvers kind of thing. So I'll directly remove this segment and I will copy this element in upward direction for 10 mm. I'll copy this the gap of 10 mm. I'll copy this from this point. In this manner, we have created grooves for this paneling also. For middle portion, we are not creating grooves because we will create them in louvers. And for creating louvers, we will specify them as a component. Okay, so that's why I'm not creating those grooves. Now we will apply some depth effect on these grooves. For applying depth, what I'm going to do is I'll specify first of all I'll specify them with some color so that we can get a proper depth view from darker shade, and the depth should be 10 mm. Okay, 5 mm. Okay, in this manner we have created grooves for paneling, and for creating louvers, what I'm going to do is I will first of all apply push pull to this surface at a depth of 1.5 inches. Okay, 1.5 is complete. So I'll apply a depth of 0.75 inches. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'll create a groove, sorry, louver. For creating a louver, I'll use rectangle command. Shortcut key is R. I'll specify the first point is over here, and I'll create a rectangle of size 0.75 thickness by 0.75 sorry, rectangle command on the top surface of 0.75 comma 0.75. Okay, so we have created a rectangle of 0.75 by 0.75. I'll double click on the surface and I'll make convert it into a component because we have to create multiple components, right? So we'll create them as component and I'll specify its title, its name as lowers. Okay, We'll create them as lowers. Now I'll double click on this lower. I'll apply push pull command and I'll apply push pull up till this point. Because as you can see, we can see some grooves on this point also. And these lures are also we when we purchase them, these lures are of standard depth of 8 feet and 10 feet. And we have a height of 10.5 feet. So that's why we can't create this element with single strip of lure. We have to create a joint. So we are creating a joint of at this particular segment. Okay. And now after creating one lure, what I'm going to do, I'll copy this at a gap of 1.5 inches so that we can have a gap of 0.75 inches. Now I'll select these two elements. I'll convert them into a group so that we can keep the levers in a single group element. Okay. Now I'll double click on this group so that we can go to the group editor command. Now we'll select it from this point and we'll drop at this point. Now I'll press X and I'll tap in the value as 10. So we can get the multiple repetition. Now we can see we are getting a 10 repetition and still it's not covering the complete segment. So what I'm going to do is I'll again type in X, okay, without pressing any other key and rotating. I'll type in value X and I'll increase the count as 15. Still, now we have created it at a gap 20 elements. Now these two elements are overlapping these two elements. So I'll delete those elements. In this manner, we have created our levers. Now we will select these levers and I'll again copy them from the bottom corner of this point to the top point of this point. Okay. Now I'll double click on these group element so that we can go to the group editor. Now we will select these groups, these components, and I will right click on them and convert them into unique. What it will do is when we'll go to double click and we'll go to the edit feature now, you can see that all these element size will get automatically increased. And the bottom element won't be affected from this because we have created a unique feature for this. We have converted this component into a unique component. Okay, so that we can apply this feature by using component only. We can't do this feature with group. Okay, so that's why we have while creating the first element, we have to make sure that we have to create them in as a component. Okay, for component we can apply unique property, and then after applying unique property, we can replicate them. Now, what one more thing that I'm going to do is I'll double click on over this element. I'll go to this view option, component edit. I'll convert it into a address of the element. Now I'll create a line from over here to here. Okay, and I'll specify its color as black color so that we can get a depth effect. Now we need to apply some material over here. As you can see that we are getting a wooden texture laminate kind of thing over here. So for this wooden texture, we'll go to Pure Cosmos. Okay, Pure Cosmos offers us a cloud library. So we'll download our desired material from the Pure Cosmos library. So first of all, we'll go to this paint option. Then we'll go to this cloud feature and we'll go to material. Here we can see there are multiple material that have been given to us. We'll go to this wooden flooring element. Okay. Here, as we drag our mouse downwards, we can see different texture and shades of our materials. Uh, you can select whichever material do you feel like it's more relevant or more closer to your image. Na? You can particularly select that element. As I guess that this one is quite similar as compared to this material. So I'm going ahead with this one. Or you can even select this one. This one is also pretty close to this material. So I'm going to select this one as a material. So first of all, we'll have to download this material. You can see by name it's written as veneer A0 to 120 centimeter. So I'm going to select this material. So I'll go to this material. 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 I'll go to this at one instance only. Okay, first of all, we'll have to download this element. Okay, so we have downloaded this material. Okay. After downloading it, we have to import it into V-Ray. So for that, you can click on this import feature. Okay. As you click on it, you can see on bottom it's going to come as asset import is in progress. Once it get vanished, that means that material will is automatically imported into our V-Ray library. So we have to go to first of all on V-Ray asset editor. Now, as you can see here, we can see some these material. These are free elements that are being assigned to our objects, right? So I'm going to delete these materials. As you can see over here, we are getting a linear material that we had downloaded from video called Chaos Cosmos. You can see its structure from over here. Okay, we can reduce or increase the size of the structure, and from here you can convert them into what kind of shape do you want it to be displayed. Like if you are giving some feather material, we generally display it on the circular object so that we can get a complete round type kind of texture that what we would be getting. So for applying material on wall, we generally go ahead with paneling on wall. We generally go ahead with wall or wall closure. Okay, so uh, here you can visualize your product, that how it's going to look like. And now we have, first of all, we have to select the design material which we want to assign it to our object. After selecting it, we can even check it whether it will get selected or not from over here. Here we have a default tray option. On default tray, whichever material is being displayed on the top now, that material is presently active. Okay, so if I select and drop it on any element, this material will get applied on that element. Okay, so I'll drop, first of all, I'll drop on this panel, and then I'll drop this material on these levers. Okay, in this manner, we can apply materials. Now we have created a front wall. Okay, this wall. Now for material for this wall, we'll go with Pico Paint. Okay, so for paint, what I'm going to do is I'll go to this gloss Cosmos material, and we'll go to this wall material, and in this we'll go and select this fine grain white material. Okay, we'll import this material. After importing it, you can see this color is quite grayish kind of color. We can click on this and we can change its color from over here. Okay, so after selecting this, as you can see, presently in SketchUp, wood material is being active. So what we have to do is we have to go to V-Ray first of all. We have to go and select any other material. Then we'll select the desired material which we want to become active. So we'll click again, click on that material, and you can see that material will get activated. And now here, from there we can specify our material on the wall. Okay. In this manner, we have specified material on our uh, out of bedroom design layout. Okay. Now, if you want to check whether that kind of texture is being displayed to us, so for doing it, what you can do is you can go to VRAY again. So we'll go to this setting option. Okay. And this you can see there are two modes. First one is GPU, CPU mode, second one is GPU mode. GPU means that our render will automatically will take graphic card as a processing unit for taking out render. And CPU means that the processing node will be transferred to the processor. Okay. So from here you can select whichever element you want your render to be your rendering engine. So because I have a graphic card, so I'll go ahead with GPU. If you don't have a graphic card, you just simply go ahead with CPU. Okay, from here you can select the quality of the render that you want. Now there is an option called denoiser, and it's automatically set to auto mode. So here, from here, I'll change it and convert it to video because video denoiser offer us a better result. So that's why we'll go ahead with video denoiser, and we'll make its effect rapid. So we'll move the cursor from left to right. And now at the bottom, below this, we have a camera option. So we are not going to change anything in the camera. We'll go to this render option first of all. Okay. And by going to render mode, what we can do is the first thing is to create a safe frame so that we can know whether what are the elements that would be covering inside our render. Okay, whichever you have placed your camera, that view is going to be act as our camera view, okay, in SketchUp. Now, what we can do is we can specify the image size that we want a render to be accomplished in. So I'm specifying size as 2000. Now you can see that the aspect ratio is presently in wide range. So wide range offers us a larger x value to will be covered and a smaller y axis value will be covered. If you want, you can change the aspect ratio. It will change the focal length of the lens. Okay. Suppose if I'll go to this portrait mode, you can see now it is being transformed and its focal length is being now changed, altered. So for getting it properly, you should select your aspect ratio properly. Okay. Now, that's why in generally bedrooms, what I do is I'll go ahead with 16 ratio 99 procedure only. For creating elevation and vertical designs, generally use portrait or other mode. Okay. Now we'll go to this teapot option and we'll go to this drop down menu, and from this drop down menu we'll go and click on view and practice so that we can get a basic approach what how a render is going to look like. Now, as you can see that this material is turning out to be quite darker in shade. If I want a lighter shade value over here, so what you can do is either you can reduce its brightness, uh, you can change its material appearance. For that, you have to just go and first of all pick up the material whichever you want to change. Then we'll go to this edit feature that is already given to us in SketchUp by SketchUp material. Now here at the bottom, you can see that there is a brightness feature under picture. There is HFV, that means hue, saturation, and brightness. So what I'm going to do is I'll increase the brightness. I'll, I'll reduce the saturation also. Now, after doing this, I'll again hit constructor view. Now you can see that. Okay, in this manner, we can reduce the brightness and bump of the texture. Now, suppose I want to reduce it furthermore. So I'll go and select on this view. Okay, so we have created a panel element. Now, as we know that this this element will be our emissive light element. So what we are going to do is we'll stop this interactive detail. Interactive is a ray trace method, so it will trace up our material. It's not going to create render, it's just going to trace out the render material so that we can get a quite good look at how our material is going to look like while we do the render. So now we want to create this light element that you can see on the wall. So for creating this light, what I'm going to do is I'll go and double click on this element. I'll select this surface. I'll apply Control C command so that I can copy this surface. Then I'll hit escape. Now I'll go to this edit feature and I'll go to this paste in place feature, so that that surface will this inner surface will get selected, will be applied on this particular surface. So I'll zoom in, and now I'll right click on this, and I'll convert this face into a group. After doing this, I'll select this surface and apply a push pull of depth width as half inches. It will bump out a little bit. Okay. Now we need to apply emissive material on the surface. So for creating emissive material, what we can do is we can either download the material from the JavaScript library, or what we can do is we can create our own material in SketchUp with video. Okay. For creating our own material, you have to go to video asset editor first of all, and then at the bottom we can see that there is an option called asset create asset. We'll go to this option because we are creating a material, so we'll go to this material feature. Then on this feature we can see there is a emissive material feature that has already been given to us. So we'll go and select that material, the emissive material. Now I'll select this emissive material first of all. I'll go to this and then color option. I'll convert its color as in from bright to little warmer color. Okay. Then I'll increase the intensity also, so that it can give us a uh, uh, some reflective look kind of thing. So for that we can increase the intensity. Okay. After doing this, we'll select this material and we'll drop on this particular surface. Okay. Now we'll go to this again. We'll go to this screen view. Now we'll again click on this teapot option for getting a interactive render. Now we can see that we are getting a display of light over here. Okay. It's shining like a white light. Okay. So to make it, I want to convert it into a little warmer tone. So there should be a profile. That's why we have created with another rectangle. These are this. I'll show you the actual light also that I can use for the element. That's why we have created a tube kind of structure over here. Okay. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I want to convert them into a little warmer tone. So for that, I'll move them towards the darker shade color. Okay. Now, as you can see that we are getting a darker tone. Okay. A warmer tone. You can see over here. Now, Uh, let me show you the real element that we are using for creating a profiler. We can apply profiler in two methods. For false ceiling, we generally apply LED strip lights. Okay, LED strip lights are these kind of elements because they are generally hidden lights. So that's why we don't need cover. For creating wall light, we generally use this C channel kind of thing, and this comes with a cover element. So inside this, we generally place these lights inside this, and we'll cover it with with cover, so that after covering it, it's going to look like this kind of thing. Okay, so that's why I have created, as you can see there, I created another tube type kind of structure. This black portion will be the cover, and this will be the front shutter. Okay, and below between these two surfaces are we generally place the LED light. But in SketchUp we can directly place the emissive material so that we can get a glossy effect uh, in a render. Now, what I'm going to do is another one more thing, one important thing that I'm going to do. As you can see that these segments are intersecting with one another. So I'll go and double click on this surface. I'll I will select this surface from left side to right side, and I'll move these surfaces in green axis, and I'll move them at a gap of about 25 mm. Okay, sorry, I'll move them at a gap of 1 inch. Okay, now I'll double click on these the elements. I'll move them upward at a gap of 6 inches. I'll you can see that still it's interacting with one another. So I'll double click on this surface. I'll select this element once again, and I'll create a gap of 1 inch one more time, so that we can have a little roof kind of thing. Okay, that's fine. Now I'll double click on that surface also. I'll apply a gap, push pull it at a height of 6 inches. I'll do the same thing as over here. We'll apply the push pull of 6 inches over here and all the elements. Now, because we have increased the height of the paneling, we have to increase the height of the doors also. So I'll double click on this because it was a group first of all. Then as you can see, this is a component inside a group. So I'll double click. I'll go and double click on this group and I'll apply push pull because all these components are of same element. That's why it, its result will get reflected right away. So in this manner, we have created a paneling layout. Now, after doing this, what I want to do is I want to attach some bed and side table on our layout. So for attaching beds and side tables, what we can do is we can use a website that is called 3D Warehouse. So we'll go to this 3D Warehouse website. Here you can either log in with Google or if you want, you can create your own profile on this element. Here you can directly upload your projects also, or you can download other projects that are being created by other creators. Okay. Suppose I want a bed, what I'm going to do is I'll generally type in the its name as bed, and after doing this, you can see multiple beds option that will be displayed on our screen. You can select whichever suits you. Okay, so there are multiple options that are available on the top. As you can see that there is a category option, catalog of collection option, catalog option, and material option. So when first of all we want a 3D material, 3D object for our bag. So we'll be going with collection or model kind of thing. Okay. Here there are multiple bats collection. From here you can select your own element. Like I'm going to select this bat as okay. So I will first of all download this bat. Now as you can see that this bat over here. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to this file feature. I'll go to this import option and scroll down. I may have already downloaded this element. So I'll download import them directly. You can download those materials. Okay. So I would have already downloaded the material. So I'll go to this. I'll go to my downloads feature. Okay. As you can see, I have downloaded similar manner. I have downloaded many other elements also. So you can download and you can create your own library also like in this manner. So that if you'll have a library on your laptop, not on your PC or laptop, no, you won't be needing internet features so that you have to download it again and again. Okay. So let me select the back first of all. Okay, so we have downloaded our furniture. Now we'll import that directly into our file. Okay, while importing, we can see a lag. Okay, once a mouse is being displayed in this kind of arrow kind of thing, that means our element is now we can import. We have down imported that element and we can directly place it on our screen. Whenever we place any object in SketchUp, import any object in SketchUp, it is imported at a particular face only. Okay? So because we have selected specified this particular face, so all this element will get imported at this particular face. Or we can we can apply navigation tool so that we can move these elements and we can place these elements as per our need. So like over here, you can see it's being started from this viewers and then after this profile light. Similarly, same thing is over here also. But we can see that our bed is quite smaller as compared to the image one. This is a quite larger bed. So what we can do is we can either increase the size of this bed, or what we can do is we can keep the bed as this as of this size only, and we can change the side table with, like this one. Okay. So we will we are going to do is I want you to create this side table by your own in SketchUp. Okay, Ashutosh.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I won't be changing the side table. I want you to create your own side table of that, like that thing. Okay, now what I'm going to do is while importing this element, now we can see that this element is suspended. Okay, so what we are going to do, we will select the surface and we will move it downward at the this surface. Okay, now because we have move the complete element downward. So the side table will get below this element. So what we can do is because we are creating our own side table now, we can just simply go and select and delete this element. Okay, or you can hide these elements as per your own needs, whatever you want. Okay, I'll go to this screen view now. If I go and click on this interactive render, while taking up a director render, we can see that from this direction, we can see a sunlight entering into our room. Okay? Uh, and some of the sunlight is coming from behind the camera also, because you can see some flare over this point. Okay? So, first of all, we'll set up the sunlight feature. Okay. So, for setting up the sunlight, what I'm going to do is I'll right click on this and I'll click on this shadow feature too. Okay. So if you on the shadow feature, you can click on this shadow toolbox so that you can see from which direction uh, uh, sunlight are coming from. Okay. Now by moving the cursor in season, we can change the direction, and by moving the time also we can change the direction of sunlight. Okay. So there are two methods by which we can change the direction of sunlight. Okay. Or what you can do is we can create our own uh, direction from V-Ray also. Now, suppose I want the direction to come from this sunlight to come from this window only. So as you can see that we have adjust our sunlight to this pointer. But once I go to this screen option, we can see the sunlight will become inactive and this pointer will change its position because original position was of the screen one is set again. So what we can do is we can again switch on the sunlight and we can change its direction and time and month so that we can get a proper view where we want a light to be inserted, from where a light to be inserted, get inserted. Okay. Suppose I want some this kind of feature. So after doing this, what I'm going to do is I'll click on this enter interactive so that we can get a good look how our model is going to look like. Now you can see that we are getting a shadow kind of sunlight from over this corner. Okay. I still want to reduce the this brightness of this wooden texture. So what we can do is I'm I want to use an image as a reference for that instead of that thing. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to the Pinterest option, okay, and from Pinterest I'll select a desired wooden texture that I want to be displayed on the back of the wall. From over here, you can select your own desired wood texture, whichever you want. I'll go and select with the lighter version, a little bit lighter. This one. Okay. If I'll go and select this one, no, you can see that at the back of this, we are getting a watermark. Okay. We can't use it. So I won't be using this texture. If I have used this texture, no, this watermark will get displayed on our render also. So instead of that, we can select any other wooden texture. This one is quite fine. The sizing is quite large. The texture size is quite large for this one. So I won't use that. I generally use smaller grains, okay, for texture material. So I will make that one again. Okay, fine. I'll select this one. So we have downloaded this image. Okay. But when I download an image, now I generally try to download multiple 2 to 3 images so that if one of the images isn't giving us a desired result, we can switch and change the texture from one to another. Okay, so that's why I generally download multiple textures. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I will select this linear texture, okay, and we'll go to this uh, material property feature. And as you can see that on diffuse, we can see in the color feature, no, we can see there's a blue pop-up kind of structure we can see. We have to click on this, okay, and it will show the image file. Now we will go to this folder option. From there, we can select a desired image of texture that we want it to be displayed instead of that. So before applying texture image, now what I'm going to do is I'll open this image in Paint. Okay. Now I want to remove this watermark now. So what I'm going to do is I'll reduce the height of this image. Okay. Now in this manner we can remove that watermark. I'll close this image and click on save. I'll close this. I'll select the image from over here. Now we'll go to this texture option. And in this texture type, what we are going to do is we are going to convert it into 2D channel. Now we'll close this. Now you can see that that image is automatically being replaced with with our desired image. In this manner, we can change the texture and sizing of our material. Now we can again click on this render interactive. Before creating a render interactive, what I'm going to do is I'll reduce the camera height. Okay, and I want to apply some flooring material on the bottom. So for applying the flooring material, we'll go to this Chaos Cosmos. We'll go to this wooden flooring feature. Now from here, we are given with multiple flooring options. Whichsoever feature suits you, you can select that material. Okay, I will select this crisscross material. I'll select this one. We'll download it. Okay. Now, when we go to video, you can see there is a flooring option, flooring material. Now we'll close this. We'll go to floor. We'll double click on the floor. And we'll select this material. We'll drag and drop this material on the floor. Now we can see that this texture size of this flooring now is uh, quite small. So what we can do is we can go to the edit feature and we can see here the size of this plant is given as 4 feet by 4 feet, around 4 feet by 4 feet. Now, if we want to increase, we can increase the size and making it size as 6 feet. In this manner, we can change the size of the texture size in SketchUp. Now, we'll go to this video, screen one feature. Now, we can again see that the uh, the screen setup has been changed again. So what we can do, we can recreate that position again. Okay. Now we go to interactive video. In this manner, we have created front wall of our bedroom. Okay, so video lighting also. Now we will stop this rendering and I'll right click on it and I'll click on update so that this render setting will get updated again in this particular video screen. Okay. Okay. Up till now, is everything clear? Okay. As you can see, we are getting a diagonal kind of material strip over here. In Chaos Cosmos, we can get the same material in Chaos Cosmos also, like this one. Okay. If you want, you can select this material as your primary possible. Okay. So in this manner, after here, I want you to create your own project and create. I want you to create the site table like this one. Okay.